I told everyone back in the summer when Joao Pedro scored a lot of goals in the Club World Cup that he will be a good signing for Chelsea Football Club. Now, predominantly this season, between October and December, he hasn't been anywhere near the level I thought he would. Scored 2 goals recently. Tonight goes out there. His first goal away in Naples. Now, yes, Antonio Conte's Napoli aren't the Antonio Conte's Napoli of Serie A. Their Champions League form hasn't been anywhere near the level. But take nothing away from Joao Pedro's goals tonight. He was fantastic. And look, hands are up. I may have been wrong about Liam Rosenior. I said it was a mistake sacking Enzo Fernandez. But you know what? Tonight, in a tough, it's not an easy place to go, Napoli. Even though they're not great in the Champions League, they do have tendency from time to time to pull results out the bag. But Chelsea have now won, 5 of their opening 6 games? Beating Pavos, beating Crystal Palace, beating Napoli, beating Charlton. Like, they are actually in decent form, and they have got fixtures in the Premier League, which you imagine they'll win. They should be beating Leeds. They should be beating Wolves. They should be beating West Ham. They've also beaten Brentford. Only that slip up against Arsenal where they had chances under Rosenior. They've actually looked decent. Enzo Fernandez, again, another player that I've rated very highly, scores a very important penalty. Chelsea come away with more possession, higher XG, more shots, more big chances created. And I do believe they will go and beat West Ham in the Premier League this weekend. And I'm looking at their run of fixtures. Like, other than the Arsenal game, which is away at the Emirates, they should be coming away with a lot of wins. They should be. And if Rosenior can get Cole Palmer back to full fitness, he come off the bench today, got an assist. If they can get him, who's one of the best players in world football, back to full fitness, trust me, Chelsea will have a good end to the season. And that Liverpool-Chelsea-Man United battle for Champions League is probably going to be the most exciting part of the season for me. The title race keeps changing on a weekly basis, but I think the top 4 race will go down to the very, very final kick of the season. Man United have now won their last 2 games. Liverpool bounced back after losing against Bournemouth 3-2, battering Karabag 6-0, finish in the top 5 of the Champions League. Chelsea today looked like they were going to go out. You know, once Napoli went 2-1 up from Rasmus Hojlund, but they showed a bit of mentality, bit of grit, bit of determination, get back into the game. And look, I have only watched the extended highlights because I did have the Spurs game on. So if I do miss anything, let me know in the comments. Make sure you go down and drop a like on the video. Check out the Arsenal and the Spurs reaction over on the second channel. Thomas Frank, I can't believe what I'm seeing. We've just gone out there and beaten Dortmund and Frankfurt in back-to-back games and somehow made the top 4 of the Champions League. This isn't the same Tottenham I've been seeing getting absolutely slapped week in, week out in the Premier League. How do you beat Borussia Dortmund and then lose to flipping or draw to Burnley? But make sure you do hit that subscribe button. The road to 100,000 is well and truly on, and we are under 300 away now from 88,000, getting close to that 100K. So let me know your thoughts. I am going to bring the lineup up because, do you know what? Bearing in mind, Reece James played at centre-back today because they had no Fofana, they had no Buddy Shield, and of course, Tosin was out injured. So Buddy Shield actually came on. But Cole Palmer, you can see in this guy's ability that he has the ability to change football matches. And that's exactly what he did. The right substitution at halftime. Esteval stays in the team after his recent decent performances. Everyone knows my thoughts about Caicedo. For me, the best defensive midfielder in world football. Before anyone says it, Declan Rice is not a DM. He's a number 8. You know, and Rosenior said before the game in his press conference, and you know what? He's actually very well spoken and he does give a good account of himself. He said, and I quote, "There was no better man than I would like in my team than Caicedo. He's the best DM in world football." And I agree with that. This guy is a joke. Not his best performance by any stretch tonight, but it's the presence of having him in the team. Gusto, Reece James starting at centre-back. Reece James, for me, he's probably one of the only players in world football right now that is world-class in 2 different positions. This guy is a world-class right-back and a world-class central midfielder. Fofana comes in, Cucurella, Neto, Enzo, Esteval, Joao Pedro. I do think this man that come off the bench, though, I do actually think he will... I do think he will be starting against West Ham. But look how many players. They've still got Tyreek George, Liam Delap, Jarrell Hatto. They've got, Colwill, Tosin Adarabioyo out injured. Lavia again is out injured. Is that Billy Gilmore and De Bruyne? Wow, and David Neres and Politano. He used to play at Inter Milan, Politano. You know, it's a Napoli side that does have some familiar faces in it. Rasmus Hojlund, Di Lorenzo, and of course, Romelu Lukaku on the bench, you know, and some familiar faces, especially for Chelsea fans, Billy Gilmore. But the opening goal comes from Enzo Fernandez from the spot. And he, you know, he's actually had a really, really good season this year. And I do think he is very underrated. I feel like he gets praise, but I don't think he gets enough praise as what he should actually get. When you look at his numbers this season, you know, he's got 7 goals and 2 assists in the Premier League. He's got 1 goal and assist in the FA Cup. He's got 3 goal contributions in the Champions League. He's on double digits. He's got 14 GA in 34 for a, you know, box-to-box 8/10. He has actually got really, really good numbers. And I do think he should get a little bit more praise. You know, steps up from the penalty spot. It's a really, really good penalty. Bottom left corner. You know, the Napoli goalkeeper, Merritt, doesn't really have much chance. But take nothing away from Napoli. They bounce back. Hojlund's goal is a really, really good finish. It's a good ball across the box. I didn't actually catch the first goal. But I want to talk about Joao Pedro, a guy that I put my hat out. How? I don't even know if that's the right saying. But Joao Pedro, hat on. Put my hat on? I think that's the right saying. You know what I'm trying to say. Joao Pedro, in the summer, I put huge risk backing him because I thought he will actually come in and do really, really well. And he's now got, in terms of his stats in a Chelsea shirt, he's got 18 goal contributions in 34. He's got 3 and 6 in the Champions League. He's got 3 and 3 in the Club World Cup. And in the Premier League for Chelsea, he's got 11 in 23. The first goal is an absolute bullet. Take nothing away from that strike. That is absolutely fantastic. Left peg, top corner from just outside the box. The keeper has got more chance getting a hand on the sun. That was a fantastic strike. It really, really was. Take nothing away from Joao Pedro because I thought that was an excellent finish. It really, really was. And his second goal was a very, very good goal as well. And that what's really, really important is that win has put Liam Rossini's Chelsea in and around the top 8. That, for me, you know, is the most important thing. They've won their last 2 games in the Champions League. They, you know, now have a number of teams who, you know, they can, you know, actually make a meet in the quarterfinals in the last 16. And as you can see, Chelsea's admin has come out very cheekily and said that no team has made the Champions League quarterfinals more than Chelsea. And do you know what would really be a Chelsea thing? I'm not saying by any stretch that they are going to win the Champions League, but Chelsea have huge heritage in this competition. They've won it twice. They've won the Conference League and the Club World Cup recently. And I do think it would be a Chelsea thing to go out there and win it. You know, I'm trying to find out who they're playing the next round of the Champions League. It's not actually said. I know we could play Juventus. I know we could play a number of different teams, but I believe, here we go, they will play PSG, Newcastle, Monaco, or Karabakh. That will be the 4 teams they will be playing potentially. One of those. Chelsea, Newcastle would be insane. As you can see there, PSG, Newcastle, Monaco, and Karabakh is the 4 teams that they will be playing potentially. And what's really interesting is their fixtures they've got coming up with West Ham, Arsenal. Like, I'm not going to lie, their next 7-8 games, I think Chelsea beat Burnley, beat Leeds, beat Wolves, beat West Ham, beat Hull City. If they can go on a run of games where they beat West Ham, beat Wolves, beat Leeds, and beat Burnley, there's a very good chance that they would actually go out there and make the top 4. But their win tonight was really, really important. And now, as you can see by the recent results, Chelsea are building some momentum. They have to take each game as it comes. That game on Tuesday is going to be massive. It's going to be absolutely huge for them. They have to go out there and get the right result. And I do believe that this Chelsea team have got lots of quality. And I do believe they will go out there and beat West Ham United. A West Ham United that are hugely struggling. But you look at the match stats, you look at the possession, you look at the XG, everything about them tonight, more big chances created, higher passing accuracy, more shots, more XG, more possession. Liam Rosenior will be very, very happy about that. And I'm happy to say that so far, this guy has proved me wrong, because I did think on the balance of things, it probably was the wrong decision to sack Enzo Maresca. After all, he won the Club World Cup. He won the Conference League. He had Chelsea in a decent-ish position. I know the recent results at the end of his reign weren't good enough, but so far, Liam Rosenior has come in and he's won 4 out of the last 5 games. So he's won 5 of his opening 6, and with the run of games they've got coming up, I'm not going to lie, I do expect them to beat West Ham. I do expect them to beat Leeds, beat Burnley, and they can go on a run in the league. They've just beat Brentford and Palace. Take each game as it comes and go from there. And if you can get Joao Pedro scoring, you've got every chance. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you soon. I'm out.